Hey everyone, MLive's Brendan Quinn here alongside Michigan football beat writer Nick Baumgardner following Jim Harbaugh's Monday press conference after the Wolverines win over BYU on Saturday. Heading into a week that will end at Maryland. Nick, in terms of the running game, the biggest question today was the status of Davion Smith, who rolled his ankle against BYU, left the game, was in a walking boot for precautionary reasons, they said. Non-committal would be the word for what Jim Harbaugh or his approach to that status update today. What do you think would be the case? If he can't go 100%, what happens then?
Well, yeah, I think it comes down to either Ty Isaac or Drake Johnson. And 2 weeks ago, we would have said probably Ty Isaac because he was the second guy off the bench. But last week, Drake Johnson actually was the second guy in. So I would assume that it just has to do with whoever plays better in practice this week. I would guess. But again, the ultimate takeaway there is that's while you'd like to have Davion Smith on the field in full health because he has been very effective for them, they have a pretty decent luxury going here with 4 sort of known commodities.
Sure,
they know what they're going to get from these guys. With the other 3 would be Isaac, Drake Johnson, and Derek Green. Those are 3 different runners with different styles, and all 3 of them could fit in different spots. So I think Harbaugh's feeling pretty good about that. Whether or not he plays, we don't even really know if it's an ankle or if it's a foot.
Sure.
They said ankle immediately after it happened, but I don't know if that was something where they went into further detail and they found something else. I have no idea. Harbaugh really didn't want to get into specifics, and I think he thinks it's something he can maybe have an advantage, competitive advantage, because they don't know if he's going to play or not. But so that's that. So I guess
to be clear, we have no idea. We're not saying that Davion could be out.
He said he felt fine after the game, and he said he felt like he's going to play after the game. But you know what? I've been doing this long enough to know.
Sure.
I've never heard anybody tell me after the game, well, I'm going to be out for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and after
we'll
a game,
see. And he's a tough kid, so who knows?
If he rolled over his ankle, he could have gone to get fed that night, woke up the next day, and it could have been, we have no idea. But
see how it responds.
Beyond the running game, Jabrill Peppers met with the media today, spent about 15-20 minutes. You were with that group. What'd you take away from it?
Yeah, I think, again, the big thing with him at the moment is that he's doing so many different things defensively for them in so many different roles. And he said today that it varies literally week to week. And I think that says a few different things. Obviously, they think very highly of him as a player, but his intelligence and his ability to sort of retain information is something that seems like DJ Durkin really trusts, because Jabrill said, I won't know how I'm going to be used until I go. He's like, we're going to go in the meeting here in 20 minutes, and I'm going to find out, because I don't know. I've got to learn, he's had to learn basically how to play safety, how to play nickel, how to play corner. And last week when they're in a dime, he's playing outside linebacker pretty much, or inside linebacker in some situations where Desmond Morgan's the only linebacker on the field, but in some spots they moved Jabrill up and he was basically playing linebacker. So he is just a guy who goes wherever they need him to go. And that's ultimately, which is just a credit to Durkin for seeing this, because those types of players are very, very rare.
Yeah.
You could pigeonhole him into one spot and say, you're going to play corner, and that's going to be that. Maybe he becomes a great cover corner, and that's great. But he's not around the ball then, because they're just going to go the other side. Although if he becomes a great corner, you got Jordan Lewis on the other side. That's neither here nor there. He's a guy that can handle different responsibilities, handle different roles. He can retain it in his head. He's smart enough to do that. They immediately saw that, and they're trying to get the most out of him. People keep asking about him on offense. He's not doing anything on offense. He hasn't done anything on offense in practice. That's not a thing, because I think there's so much on his plate defensively, along with the special team stuff, that they don't want to. I mean, he can handle a lot, but you even talk to him, and he's like, I got to make sure that my focus is where it needs to be. And power to him, because he's playing all over the place and he's still making plays. So he's had a good start to the season.
You mentioned it's a credit to him. It's also a risk by him, because that's also something that if he is overloaded, you run the risk of kind of eliminating him from a lot of plays. But he is clearly both an elite athlete and someone who is very kind of cognizant, I think, of the various aspects and where and what he needs to do and what's expected. He doesn't try too much, but he does so much.
And I think they trust him enough to say, this is too. If this extra layer we added on is too much, you got to tell us, and we'll back it off. And I think they trust him enough to say that, and I think that's what's going on, because he doesn't ever look overwhelmed.
Right.
But at the same time, he even said today, sometimes he's got to make sure that his mind is where it needs to be, because he could be playing 3 different spots over the course of 4 different snaps on one series. So, that's a lot. And he's like, I got to remember where I'm at all times, because And, in a way, he said that keeps you sharp, keeps you on your toes, keeps you more in the game because you're constantly having to say, okay, I'm at this spot now, not that one. I got to forget that. And,
yep.
He could be covering a tight end, a receiver, a running back. I mean, it changes so much play to play, but special talent. And that's outside the box thinking from a coaching staff who has proven already through 4 weeks that they're creative. Mm-hmm. They find ways to put guys in proper positions, even if it doesn't really seem like it's a seam on the surface, like it's a perfect natural fit. Eventually you figure out, yeah, that's what it is. So, I mean, that's the other part here to take away too. We talk about Harbaugh a lot. This coaching staff for 4 weeks has been outstanding. Yeah. I mean, these guys have improved across the board, and that's a credit to, and Harbaugh said it too, the staff has been, top of the line, no question about it.
Sure. And regarding Mr. Peppers, he's due. He is going to he's going to do something in one of these upcoming games.
He said he feels like they're close on the punt.
A punt return or a pick six, something. He is going to do something that is going to, I think, take over ESPN. Something's going to happen.
He's a crazy athlete.
Because he's right there on so many opportunities. So that's due. And speaking of what else is upcoming, we'll have the Wolverine beat later this week. Make sure you tune into that. And until then, for Nick, I'm Brendan. Thanks for watching.